एक मिनट नहीं, 1 मिनट। हाँ, शुरू करो।
Namaste everyone, this is Brianna and welcome back. I can't believe we are already at week 5 and just have one more left. The time flew by, but yet I am so grateful for connecting with you all on this journey. Today, Mrs. Kamran will begin the session with a twin heart meditation, after which Paul will continue to weave his magic. In the end, we will also ask you to share your videos and art so that we can see how each one of you is doing. Over to you, Mrs. Kamran.
Thank you, Rihanna. Namaste, everyone. So glad to be here for yet another session, for yet another magical session of the Mandala meditation and art. So getting ready for this meditation, please shrug your shoulders, shake your hands, shake your arms, shake your legs to let go of any energy that does not serve you anymore today. And now sit comfortably with your back straight, your hands on your lap, facing upwards, assuming a receptive pose, ready to receive the divine energy. If you're sitting on a chair, please refrain from resting your back on the chair. You can keep pillows to help it be straight. Kindly close your eyes or soften your gaze. Let us invoke the blessings of the divine. To the Supreme God, we humbly invoke for divine guidance, divine love, divine illumination, oneness, bliss, and protection. With thanks and in full faith, so be it. If you find it comfortable, kindly connect your tongue to your palate, that is the top of your mouth, throughout the meditation, but do see your comfort level. This will just facilitate the circulation of the energy in the body. Now place one hand, any hand, on your chest, on your heart, and recall a happy event, a happy memory and experience that brings a smile on your face. And smile through this heart chakra. Now place the other hand on your crown chakra or the top of your head. And again recall a happy memory or things you are grateful for. Smiling with your eyes, heart, and mind. Take a deep breath in and out. Now bring your hands down in front of you, your palms facing downwards the floor as if blessing someone. And imagine that the earth is in front of you, the size of a small ball. And focus on your heart or the heart chakra, visualizing that a luminous, bright, divine pink light is flowing from your heart, down your shoulders, your arms, through your hands to the earth. Visualizing that you're blessing this whole world, the whole earth with loving kindness. Visualize people smiling, filled with joy, hope, and peace. All beings embracing, reconciling, forgiving, and connecting their hearts. Let the entire earth be blessed with understanding, harmony, divine peace, with goodwill and the will to do good. Allow yourself to be a channel of this divine loving kindness, joy and happiness and peace, sharing it with the whole world. Now bring your attention to the tip of your head or your crown chakra and visualize that there's a bright white light flowing down from the tip of your head to your neck, shoulders, down your arms and through your hands, blessing the planet Earth with loving kindness. You are now blessing the earth simultaneously from both these chakras, the crown and the heart chakras, or the twin hearts, the heart of emotions and the heart of consciousness. Aligning these two chakras, simultaneously blessing the earth with the pink and white light. Taking a deep breath in and out. Now gently be aware of the base of your spine and project your consciousness down into the earth. Imagine light descending into Mother Earth, blessing Mother Earth with divine love, light, and divine power. From the center of the earth of God, let the entire earth be blessed with loving kindness, with great joy and happiness, with understanding, harmony, divine peace, connecting you with the earth, making you feel centered and letting go of any excess energy. Bring your hands into a prayer position next to your heart and remembering Lord Shiva before we start, reciting loudly or softly with me. Om Namah Shivaya. Om Namah Shivaya. Om Namah Shivaya. Slowly and gently open your eyes. Shake your hands once again. Stretch out your arms. Shrug your shoulders. Move your body any way you like, stretching out to remove any excess energy. Thank you so much for joining me in this meditation. Over to you, Paul, for yet another enlightening, inspiring, and magical session.
All right, namaste, Om Namah Shivaya, Guru Vishnu, Guru Shiva, Guru Brahma. So back to the Mandala class where we left off last week. And I want to, we don't need to go back to review, but what we did is we took our fundamental basic mandala and we started to add a lot of different colors and very simple designs. And here I'll put this up to the screen. And I want to look at it very carefully if you can see that. Okay. So we started to fill this in. I mean, if you're making one of these very nice, you can easily frame this. The first one I ever did way back in the mid 80s is framed and up in my studio. I look at it all the time. It's been there for 35 years. So before we get started, we're going to color this, but I want to give you a little bit of a futuristic look at where we can go with this. Now, remember we talked about the lotus petals. That's what these are, the lotus petals that they open from the heart. That's what these t-shirts that come from Kathmandu, these are all made out of silk. They'll last friggin' forever. And the lotus petals. So I'm going to show you a mandala I have behind me. just so you can make sense of what we're doing. Because if you could take exactly what we've done and you add paint to it, you'll see what the possibilities are. I did this mandala a few weeks ago on Maui. I want to see if you can get this in there. Okay. Okay, take a look at the little mandala and apply it to the big one here. You see that? Do you see how these are all petals with designs on them? And I did this piece as a teaching piece in the class. We went out circle by circle by circle by circle, and we just spontaneously made up very simple shapes. But once you put them together, it makes a beautiful mandala. And you can see in here the way they're colored. It goes from dark color to light, dark color to light, dark color to light. If you look at our painting, that's just where we left off last time. So this looks like a very complex painting, but once you understand this, it's not so hard at all. Any of you who had finished this, our little one that we're doing together, and you put more time in it with paint, and mandalas are great for acrylic paint because it dries instantly. It's very easy to work with. It has no chemical smell, no smell. And nobody has allergies to acrylic paint. So this is a beautiful mandala, not finished yet. I haven't put all the crystals on it, but I wanted you to see this so you can see where we're headed with this. What's the future? Whoop. Thank you. Okay, so let's back to our little drawing. If you remember, those of you that are still with us, the very last thing we did is we were coloring in from light to dark. So, and what looks good is we also talked about contrasting colors, light color next to a dark color, like the light yellow next to an orange and the light blue next to the purple. And out here, we're using greens and blues. So why don't let's just take a minute and continue to color this in. I'm going to go into the center now and put these lines right here that shows the spiral. Because as you go in, what this represents is the outer layer, the inner layer, and the very inside layer. And here is this is right now in mandala terminology, that's your heart center right here. So you're going in from here to here to here to here. That's what the basic principle of what we're doing here. Even though you might not see it that way, it doesn't matter. What matters is that you're putting a little effort into it and that you're seeing this as a possibility of something not only fun and easy to do, but also it's a meditative symbol. Okay, so I'm going to just pick out another color. Let's say green, because we're getting near the heart. And I'm going to start to color in one of these spirals. And once I have this colored in, I'm really going to exaggerate this time now, the shading. So once it's colored in like that, I'm going close to the center. It's all moving towards the center. And I'm really going to darken this, because the blending is the key to mandala work. All mandalas I do have blending in them. Every single one has some kind of blending, or you could call it shading. Okay, let's look at that. Can you all see that right here? See how it's dark green and the dark green goes up to the light green. Shaded dark to light. If you do everything in the painting dark to light, it'll have way more feeling. If you just color this all in with flat colors, it'll look flat. So when you do this shading, you're making a dimension, because the dark color here is deeper and richer and the color here is lighter. So when you do shading, not only does it look a lot better, but what it actually doing is showing you levels and dimensions as you move towards the center of the mandala. Okay, so I'm going to color in every other one green the same way. This might take a few minutes because I'm trying to Really color in the center strongly. So now that you've done this with us, you can do this. You know, there's a lot of books you can buy that already has the templates in them. There's hundreds. I mean, I've done for a couple different companies, 7 books. And in those 7 books, there's 30 each. So I've made over 200 of these little templates. And some of the books, although they're not selling a lot now, they were really selling a few years ago when there was a big kind of a fad on coloring in mandalas. Okay, so what I'm doing is I'm spiraling around. I'm spiraling around. And so what the symbol of spiraling around like this means you're spiraling in towards your center. You're going inside yourself. You can't really do mandalas without the real teaching behind it. If you just want to sit down and relax and color and open up your creative ability, fantastic. That's what we're all here for. But underneath that, at the same time, there's a lot of spiritual principles just in this little thing. It's this little thing here is full of spiritual principles. And so the next color I'm going to move to is I'm going to do red, because if you know anything about the chakra system, we haven't talked about that. We've talked a lot about the heart chakra, but Lorna, will you get one of my ladders? There's a chakra system in the body. If you've never heard of that, there's is as simple as I can say it. There's 7 different levels of energy in your body, from the lower energy down below to the higher energy up above. This is a typical chakra ladder where it goes from the red to the orange to the yellow to the green, which is the heart, on up to blue, which is the throat, purple, which is here, and then white, which is the crown. So when you're coloring these in, based on the colors you're doing, it's going to affect these particular chakras in the body. So if I'm using now green, the green is the color of the heart. Now every color has its complementary color. You've heard this, right? So even though we, as kids growing up, we colored the heart red, well, the complementary color to green is red. And if you look at the heart chakra, it's green here, but underneath it, it's red. You just don't see it. It doesn't show it on here, but it's there. So knowing that, as we're moving towards the heart, I'm going to put red next to the green, which means we're opening up our hearts. Now, a lot of people could kind of try to figure out, how do I open my heart? Well, you can meditate, that works. You can walk on the beach, that works. You can dance, that works. But for a meditative practice, doing mandalas is a way to open up your heart. And the more you do, the more it'll open up. And as you do these, your consciousness changes. This is a consciousness changing exercise. And a lot of people, they fly all over the world. There's caves along the Ganges, people meditating for hours and hours trying to be enlightened. Well, in the modern age, with what we know, a little drawing like this is each of our ways how we go in. This is our cave next to the Ganga. This is the way we can do it. And I've had people, there was somebody in my workshop this weekend that had been with me 15 years. Oh, she's teaching classes. She's doing beautiful paintings. She's selling them. It's a wonderful, simple thing, but it's a treasure really that you go through life with. I can't tell you how important it is to me. I mean, mandalas is my existence. So back to this. So I'm going to color between the green ones. I'm going to put red. It's kind of this particular red. It's kind of like an orangish red. But the same way, a lot of color in the middle and then not too much color out. One little difficulty in the with the way we're going, I don't have the response of each of you just to see if you're keeping up with me, or you're ahead of me, or you're behind. So the one thing I can say, if you're fast and you've done it already, start another one. I was telling Lorna here right before we started that when I'm done with this, I'm going to take this little thing and I'm going to put a frame on it and hang it up in my studio because it has a lot of meaning to me. And especially with the way the world is now, all the problems we're having, which we've talked about, how nice it is to get yourself calm, do a little meditation, and then do a little coloring. I'm pretty much doing this, 5, 6, sometimes 7, sometimes 20 days in a row, because it's my meditation practice. Now, can you see that, what we've just done? See, it looks like a lot of light or a little fire. As you get towards, and your heart center opens up, you will feel the world completely differently. It's completely different than you know. So one of the things that Carl Jung talked about this, I talked about him a little last week. He's the Western therapist that really discovered the mandala. He says, when you're doing these things, you're not learning what you know. You're learning what you don't know. You're going where you haven't been. And the mandala opens all kinds of doors inside ourselves and our consciousness, which is, there's no end to the expansion. It's ever expanding. This is one way where you can go in, and it's like a portal into your deeper self. Even a little coloring assignment like this expands your consciousness. It's something that's so valuable. People look for it. They pay a lot of money to go to retreats, but in your own kitchen, a couple of colored pencils and a little bit of information about mandalas, you can expand your consciousness. I can tell you, if you did one of these a day for a year, you'd be a different person at the end of the year, completely different person. And the places it takes you, I don't know of any other way to get there. This is a way to go deep in yourself, but without it, I don't know how you go there. There's other ways to do it. There's lots of other ways. Matter of fact, Gandhi once said, there's as many ways to be enlightened as there is people that want to be enlightened. So I don't see this as some little meaningless sketching and coloring. This will be up for me framed, and I'll know, this will tell me how and what we've moved through together in consciousness. This little painting is holding energy. And I may be going a little deep here, but when you talk about mandalas, it's a really beautiful experience that's other than just the coloring. The coloring is just the surface. Underneath the mandala is a whole world to explore. And I can tell you one thing, it's safe. It's 100% safe. And it's calming in the midst of chaos. And it has the great Eckhart Tolle. I spent a couple of evenings with him, and he looked at my paintings and he told me, he says, Paul, your paintings heal people. And I said, yeah, I know that. But most people don't realize that the mandala is a healing agent. It can heal you. So I'm going to keep going, and I'm going to go to the center now, which is the yin and the yang. So when it comes from China or Asia, it's usually black and white, but that's just the surface of a mystery. What the yin and the yang talks about is light and dark coming together. It's like the sun and the moon coming together. Anything that's light and dark, day and night, that comes together as one. So when we do the center, if you've done a yin and yang in the middle like I have, it doesn't matter what colors you use as long as one is light and one is dark. If you use two dark colors, it has no energy. So you want to play the light off the dark. That's the whole essence of it. And nobody knows how long the yin and yang has been around. It's been around at least a couple thousand years, maybe 4, 6, 8,000. We don't know. But in modern times, 2021, we have this symbol that's come down through the ages, and millions and millions and millions of artists have used it for expression, for healing, and for balance. So as I go into the center, let's see. I'm going to use one side dark blue. That's going to be my dark color. And then again, as I color this in, After I've colored it in lightly, I'm going to make the same thing we did before. One side very dark. Usually it's the side that's curved, and one side very light. This will give better, it will read better and have more feeling in it. Every time you're doing shading from dark to light, you're contacting your own soul, because the soul works in patterns. And so this is a pattern. And it's fun, and it looks good, and it's easy to do. Mandalas are not difficult at all. That's the mind that would say something like this is difficult. It's not difficult at all. And so for my light side, I'm gonna use a very light color. You know, if I was painting this, I probably wouldn't use it, but I'm gonna do it here just to show you. I'm gonna do it pink, because pink's a very light color and dark blue is a very dark color. See, so what we're doing now is slowly moving through the painting. You see that? We started with nothing, just a blank piece of paper. And now look. We've created something out of nothing. And what the job of the artist to do, or the practice of the mandala is you bring what's invisible into the visible. This is like a veil. What you can see and what you can't see. This is a way to see what you haven't seen before. And the one of my most prized parts about being a teacher is when people come to my classes and they've never done anything their whole life. And at the end of a 3-day workshop, they go home with a beautiful painting. And they do that because it's not them that's really painting. It's something in me is giving me directions. I know it looks like I'm doing all this, but we had that woman that showed us her beautiful painting last time. And my response to her was, don't be insistent that you're doing this. For me, it's something other than me. If the heart's painting these or doing these, it's not here that's doing it. This is where the me is. There's no me here. This is like an endless, beautiful flow. Okay. Thank you. Okay, so let's continue coloring. Rihanna, are you with us?
Yeah, sorry, I accidentally clicked something. I was trying to. Oh yeah, I'm searching though.
Yeah, let's see. Come on, let's see what you're doing.
I did my homework. I'm still working on the shading this part.
The shading is really good. I can't really see. Oh yeah, that looks beautiful.
Wait, let me.
Your purple shading is excellent.
Thank you.
Look what you made.
Thank you so much.
Yeah, no problem. And in the future, you've got a kind of a fold in your paper. You want to try not to do that. But if you frame that and you mount it on a piece of either a board or a piece of foam core, that crease will come out when you press it up against glass or plexiglass.
Okay,
How nice is that? I love your waves too.
Thank you so much.
Makes me want to go surfing. Do you have any questions, or I'll continue coloring?
I think
so when you were asking us to do the red color, I started doing the green because I felt like doing green. So it's like following my heart, if that makes sense.
Yes. I'm just giving you, I'm kind of like a guide. In my workshops, I call myself a midwife. I give out instructions, I'm picking colors, but that's not the important thing. What's important is what you're doing. Your coloring is your teacher. What you've chosen is your teacher, and it reveals who and what you are. I mean, you're, semi following me because that's how you learn. Other artists always follow artists that have come before them, but trust your own color choices, trust your own symbols. It's all about trusting yourself. And even though you might not think that you're creative, I can promise you are creative. You just have not tuned into that part of yourself. I mean, I've been doing this for 30 years and I've seen not a few, hundreds of people come in saying, I can't do anything. And I always tell them that great art starts with stick figures. You start with basic little stick figures drawing, and in a few days or a few weeks, you can make absolutely beautiful paintings. I always had this fantasy of going on Oprah and picking out 10 people that have never painted in their lives and coming back 30 days later, and I would not touch the painting, and they'd all have absolutely fantastically beautiful paintings because they've allowed something to come forward in them that's highly creative, more creative than they are. And the question is, how do we how do we bring this up inside ourselves? Well, guess what? The mandala does it naturally. It taps in to our deeper resources. I mean, if you think, what do they say in Western science about our brain? We use maybe 2 to 10%. I don't know. I heard a talk once that we use less than 1%. So how do you grow and respond to, kind of like a desire to be more creative, to be healthy, to be balanced, to be more in touch with yourselves? This is an ancient way. I mean, ancient. People have been doing this for thousands and thousands of years. So we're creative. We're creating something together, but each one of you will have your own little color choices, your own little coloring, how do I say it? Your own individual patterns. And that's the most important thing, not to do what I do. You do what you do. That's the most important thing. So if you say, hey, I chose this color, that color, well, that means something, but what it means is to you and what you're feeling. Because as we're doing this, there's also some part of us that's deeper, that's participating with what we are. And as we feel, I call it a she feels right along with us. There's a lot of famous artists that have said, and I'll just translate that to what we're doing. When you pick up the pencil, it's not just you holding the pencil. There's something else holding the pencil. And it's a relationship between that and yourself, and that gives us the beautiful art. Without that inner part, the part that's kind of undiscovered or unknown in most people, you can't go where we're going. There's no way to get here unless you have some kind of a sacred path. That's why people go to gurus all over the world, because they can't go where they want to go without the guru. And it's not so much the guru's teaching, it's just being around him. It's just being around art. It's called being in the presence. Okay. So let me go back to the outside here. I'm going to color in some of these lines. And right now we've done everything uniform. Okay. Uniform means there's red, 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 purple, 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 green, blue, uniform. It means a pattern. On the outside here, I'm going to be very brave and do a different color, or maybe two of the same colors, and then colors all the way around. So each one's going to be different. So I'm going to go, and I'm looking at the first one, which is blue. And I'm going to look over here. What goes good with a blue? I could do red and blue. That's really strong. How about raspberry? I've got raspberry. So I'm going to do raspberry and blue. And I'm going to do the same thing we've been doing. I'm going to color it in lightly. And then I'm going to darken the inside. What do I mean by inside? If you're pointing towards the center, that's the inside. If it's pointing towards the out, it's the outside. So I started to color that in. Can you see right there, the dark raspberry to light raspberry? And I'm going to the next one. I'm going to keep track of what I'm doing, but I'm going to go into purple now. And I'm coloring the next one purple. It was in the late 1800s, or about the middle of the 1800s, when they first discovered that you could put paint in a little tube. And the whole Impressionist movement, what's the Impressionist movement? Where people went outdoors and painted what they saw. They only could do that because they had portable painting. Before that, you had to mix your paints. So you couldn't do it. So the mid 1800s is when we could do this. And they also, sometime around then, they started putting lead and colored lead in pencils. Back in like Michelangelo's days in like the 1400s, everything was black and white. They didn't have colors then. They had colored paint, but not pencils. And so I just took a group this last week to a giant art store warehouse. And you walk around and there's so much stuff you could buy. And that's brand new. And so next one I'm using, let's see, what color is that? It's a brown. Brown doesn't work. Where's a dark blue? I'm going to use a dark blue. Really dark blue. This is like a dark blue purple. So you should all be about at least 2/3 or 3/4 yours colored in. I'll have to go get a frame so I can show them how to frame these and how good they'll look in a frame. Okay, look what's happening here. We did the kind of like the pink raspberry, and then we went to purple, and now we went to blue. What ties them all together is it's dark to light, dark to light, dark to light. So I'm going to keep going, choosing different colors. I have to do something against green. So this is kind of a new fuchsia raspberry color. So I'm going to use that. That's going to look really good. And one thing that's coming up inside me now to share with you is try to do more feeling than thinking. If you have any trouble with this, it's always because of thinking. Feeling comes from the heart. Thinking comes from the mind. And 99% of all good artwork comes from the heart, unless it's by a computer. And a computer art is usually from the mind. It's pretty close to the other color. Okay, I'm going to use a red now. Okay, I keep working my way around. Rihanna, we're getting close to your bedtime.
Yeah.
Wow, that color is so strong. I love it. What is this color? Huh? Is it just green? Or is that aqua?
It's green.
It's green. Yeah, I might as well use it. That's kind of aqua. So the next color is kind of a teal, a green teal. Now I'm taking risks. Now, what's a risk now? It's because I'm changing the colors every time. Just to give you an example of how you can do that. If I was using all one color, it'd be a lot easier. I used to teach a lot of these on black paper, black Canson paper, and then the colors really stand out against the black. I got 2 more to go. It's kind of a gray. We'll try gray. Oh, I like it. Ooh, I like that. Back to that dark purple. Is that blue or purple? Purple. Very dark purple. Yeah, I think that set has 12 colors, but they do have sets with 24.
Mhm.
We have a mandala. Not quite finished yet. So what I'm going to do is put a little light around the outside. Blue, do we have a light blue? We don't have a light blue. Either.
What did we say first?
That's not light blue. This is light blue. You sharpen that? When I teach classes, look at, oh, this is just blues, greens. No. So I think the last thing we can do this evening is go around the circle, the edge of the circle, and put some emphasis on that. What do I mean by emphasis? Yeah, that's probably lighter than this. That's already started. Okay. Yeah, next week we can do the outside. So what I'm doing is putting light. I'm putting the blue, and then I'm shading it really in a small area. You could maybe come out a little bit more than that. Usually about a ½ inch. If you do too much, it takes too much away from the center. You see that? So it's emphasized. That means what that means is there's light coming off the mandala. We'll work out here next week. We got to do this out here. We can't forget about the square. It's all part of this. So I'm going to go around the circle now, and I'm going to color in blue and let it fade into lighter blue so it looks like there's light shining around. It's a nice color. Remind me to contact Awakenings. They got to be doing classes now.
While I'm painting, all I can think of is the color of sky I would like to see.
Yes. Good.
Yeah, I think about all kinds of things. I feel all kinds of things when I'm doing this. One of the things, I'm watching an Indian film right now from 2007. It's about a woman's Indian hockey team with Shah Rukh Khan. And it's about these young girls from India, and everybody said,
Chak De India.
what?
Chak De India is the name of the movie, I guess.
No, it's called Shock de India.
Yeah.
What? That's what she said?
Yeah, that's what I said.
Paul, you're such a huge fan of Shah Rukh. You've even watched some other movies of him, right?
With who?
Shah Rukh Khan.
How do you say it slowly so I can? Shah Rukh Khan.
Yeah.
I watched at least 10 of his movies.
Wow.
I watched one of the best love stories I've ever seen last week. It's called Veer Zara. Oh, what a great love story. Oh my God, I was crying in the end. I cried 3 times at the end of that movie.
I'm a big fan too.
Oh yeah. Okay. You see now there's like a blue aura around it, a blue glow. So what that means is that shows is there's energy coming off. And it also shows that there's light here. You know, that's why we fade it out. If you just made a blue color around there and it was solid color, it would just be flat. It'd be like this pin line, which is a flat color. So that's why when we shade it like this from dark to light, it shows that there's light coming up. It's emanating, things change. Like if you look around our body and you ever see through an aura camera and you see the aura of the body, it's real strong next to the body and it slowly fades out. So that's kind of what we're doing here. We're giving the mandala an aura. And next week, we're going to go outside here and put some quadrants in here and work with this outside edge, right from here towards the center. That's a very important thing. We just don't leave that blank. Okay, does anybody have any questions? Look at the nice yin and yang. This is going to be framed, and I'm loving this. Okay, does anybody have any questions or comments? Or you just want to show us your mandala as we kind of get close to the end here? Oh, look at that. Oh, your heart flower is opening up. When I look at this, it's like I can see inside you. It's beautiful. You have a lot of good feminine energy. But you have a big, strong relationship with your father. Is he still alive? No. Well, he's still alive in you, you know? Yeah. I like your Ganeshas. I like your Ganeshas up there. That's beautiful.
Can I show mine, Anuja?
Yes, please. Look at that. Oh my God. You have a lot of energy, young lady. I hope you exercise.
Yes, I'm 61.
That's all right. You got to enter. You got to enter. I'm 71, and I do exercise every single day. I can't miss one day.
Yeah.
You
Yes.
got a lot of energy. There's something you've got a lot of loose ends in your life now. It might be a time to kind of concentrate and be more focused. It's like you're doing so many different things, and
Right.
you've got some wounds you've carried with you when you were much younger. So it's probably a good time now to heal them.
So this is the second one.
Yeah, let's see the first one.
Yeah.
Oh, look at that back there. Look at that beautiful Ganesh up there.
This I just completed on my own without your guidance.
Yeah. No,
I didn't know this one.
you're doing all of them without my guidance. It's your own guidance you're following. What a teacher is like of this level of work, I'm just a screen to your own interior. In other words, I allow whatever's in you to come out. But the real teacher here is your painting. You could take this very simple shape and you could color it in infinite number of ways. For about 2 years, Carl Jung did one of these every morning, 30 minutes, 40 minutes to start out his day, It's beautiful.
Right.
I urge
Thank
you to
you.
frame them. Put them up
Yeah, I
and
would.
frame them.
But
Put them up there. Put them up there next to Ganesh and say, hey, look what I can do, Ganesh.
Okay. No, I'll wait for you to tell us how to complete this one. I'm following you now.
Yeah, we'll complete it next week. And then we'll do the outsides too.
Yep.
Yeah. Where are you?
It was in New Delhi.
That is such a crazy city. I've been there many times. Yeah. Big city.
Well, so yes.
Yeah.
I've been here for since I've been born, I'm here 60 years.
Yeah. Is it getting better there now? Because India is kind of off the news now. It was really on the news a month ago, but it's kind of going away.
It was crazy. So much was happening, but now it's like calm down.
That's good. Well, I hope it continues to calm down.
Yes.
And the way you calm down India is you calm yourself down. You know this.
That's it.
That's Gandhi saying, be the change you want to see in the world.
Yes.
Yeah.
Sure. So the bell's ringing. It's 11 o'clock.
Yeah, I don't know what time it is. I can't look at the clock until we're done. Lauren will tell me what to do.
Well, I have to take a class now for little ones. I teach preschoolers.
Beautiful. You can have the little children doing mandalas.
Yeah. So I wanted to know how I can tell them to do this, So I was thinking I'll give them small circles to make.
Right. You simplify it down, then go off to a copy shop and make, 20, 30, 40 copies. And colored pencils are great because they're not dirty and they're easy to do. And then the main thing with kids is to try to slow them down so they color carefully because they'll want to go too fast. And when you color it down, when you're going fast, you have less feelings. And when you're coloring slow, your feelings get enhanced. And
so what
the kids
I tell them is, I tell my kids that you are the captain of your hand and you have to, tell your hand what to do.
Yeah.
I mean, don't just let it go here and there.
No, right. And then put them up. My son teaches 7th and 8th grade, and every year he has his students do mandalas.
Oh, that's
They color it in, and then he puts them up all over his room. And you can make a very simple pattern that they can start with, and then you can make it a little deeper. And maybe on the second one, you can let them put in, a tree or a sun or a moon or things they want to do. The first one I would start with just shapes and see if they can color them in. That's the main thing, if they can color in. If they're
Okay.
really, what ages are they?
They're only from 3 to 4.
3 to 4 years old.
Yeah.
Yeah, you might have to use crayons.
Yes.
And then let them go crazy.
Yeah.
But by the way they color it in, you'll be able to tell where they're headed in life, because the soul will speak even at 3. The soul isn't 3 to 4 years old. It's ancient. So
Right.
I love to watch kids. In my painting workshops, kids have come as young as 7. And they've spent the whole day painting. Younger than 7, they can't sit still.
That's true.
And they take away too much attention from their mothers.
Right. That's true.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Oh,
Paul,
yes.
I would like to know how to improve on this, whatever I've created. What more should I add? Where
Yeah.
should I improve?
I would, well, the best thing is we're going to work with the outside next week. And there's got a lot of stuff we can do. We have to bring in the importance. See, if you look at your painting now, everything that you've done is curves. You don't have any straight lines in there. It's all curves. So what we have to do is give it a foundation to hold it. And that's what we'll work on next. That's how you improve it. You put it inside of some kind of a foundational thing. That's what the square is. And then that will add to it. But right now for the 5th session, you're perfect. If you want to work on it and keep coloring in the little areas, you can do that. You don't need me to help you do that. But just go slow and feel the colors. It looks fantastic. When I look at yours, I can totally tell it's done by a woman.
Paul, I just have one small question. I just wanted to understand that women who are going through some hormonal issues, that is PCOD, so how can that be, healed because of Mandala? Because I have been suffering from PCOD past, I think 6-7 years, and I think that I have always blocked my creativity, always questioned it, and this is one of the major blocks in my life.
Also, please. I'm also doing my class now.
Okay, are you still there? Or is that Anuja?
Yeah. No, this is Ankita. I have asked the question.
Okay, so
Ankita.
let's start with, I'm looking, that's your piece right now that you're doing.
Yeah.
Well, you have incredible sense of form and shape. I mean, your lotus petals are perfect. They look like they've been done by an experienced artist. First of all, so let's look at the word, what you just said. You use the word block. Now,
Yeah.
block is what we use for writers. Artists don't have blocks. Writers have blocks. What artists have is they lack courage and discipline. The discipline is to give you the time where you can actually sit down and do something creative. And the courage is that you can do it even though it doesn't come out fantastic. You have to have those two. And you need, I tell my students, the way to start and undo what's inside you is by having the discipline to schedule it. Like I try to tell people that have taken my workshops, can you possibly give yourself a half a day a month? A half a day a month, like you do your morning shopping or running around, and then from say 1 o'clock or noon till dinner, you sit and you be creative. You have to be able to start with that, because what most people do, they think, well, I'll do art when I'm not busy. Well, we're always busy. Everybody's busy. You ever been on the streets of Delhi? It's so busy. I asked a rickshaw driver one day, I go, how many rickshaws are there in Delhi? And you know what his response was? He said, nobody knows. So yeah, it's just to make the time, and it really does help to have a teacher around. And maybe we'll give out my email address, and if you have questions, you can always email me through Lorna. Lorna reads everything before I get to it. But if you have questions about art and releasing some of the areas that you feel, using your word blocked, I don't feel blocked is the right word. I feel that you're not making the time to allow what's behind you come out. because that's basically what this is. This is a way to let, you know, I mean, let's get right to the heart of it. In my world, this is the way to let your soul speak through you. This is the way you're in touch. If you're not creative, I mean, the whatever the entity was that made the world, we call them in this part of the world the creator. You probably call him in your part of the world Shiva. And if you look the way Shiva is creative, and then he tears it down and he creates, he's constantly changing. So in your life, you have to be able to find some place where you can allow your inner forces to speak. I can tell just by looking at your little drawing, there's an incredible artist inside waiting to blossom and bloom. The question is, how do you do it? So this will be up to you to find the right people. You know, Lorna and I have been talking about doing a class like this, but only through painting, but it'll take 6 months or a year to people go through a whole different teaching. And I don't know if I'm going to do it, but look at how beautiful that is. Can everybody see her painting? How beautiful that is? It's gorgeous. I almost like it the way it is. Even if you didn't color it in, it looks beautiful already. You've got a son, so you have a really, really, really strong relationship with your mind.
Yeah, I use my mind a lot.
That might be your difficult, because when you're doing art, you want to get out of the mind. The mind is a real killer when it comes to creativity. Okay, do we have time, Rihanna, for one more, or are we out of time? How about that, Kamal?
Okay, we can add her in.
Yes, Paul.
Oh, look at, boy, you are really soft and really sensitive. And as an artist, I can see you taking little steps. You're not one that jumps into the river. And it's beautiful so far. It's really, really, really ultra feminine. Do you work in the world? Do you have a job?
No, not really.
Yeah. Well, this
Retired, 70 years old.
Yeah, you're getting up there with me. I'm older than you. But artists don't get tired. We don't retire. I've never met an artist yet that is tired. They're inspirational. You know, so if you have time, maybe you can work artwork into like a half a day once a week or something like that, unless you really get into it. If you started doing mandalas and you really learned how to do this, you can either give them away, they make fantastic gifts, or, you know, if you need to, you could probably sell these. But you have to be, you know, get into it, dedicate yourself to it. Isn't in the Hindu tradition, the last third of your life, you're supposed to give up all your security and spend time being creative and doing your spiritual path?
That's right. Yeah.
Well, you're at that time now. Every day you're alive is another extension of your life. And being creative, I can't tell you, it awakens the young part of yourself. Artists that, maybe I'll read that next time. I wrote a thing at the beginning of COVID because I was very mad, because here in the United States, they closed down all the little businesses, but they left open the giant companies. And during COVID, you mean you can go into a giant company like a Walmart with thousands and thousands of people, and that's okay? But somebody that has a little restaurant with 8 or 10 tables in it can't be open. It's too dangerous. So it really made me angry. And so I wrote a thing about art is essential. And maybe can you, Lauren, make a note of that? We'll bring that up next week and I'll read it to you. But stay with us next week. There's a lot of beauty and softness in what you do.
Thank you.
Okay. Namaste.
I think I'll do a quick closing before we end. So thank you, Paul. I know we are over time, but I want to share that when I was working on my mandala this week, I followed your guidance for letting my feelings lead, and I drew from my heart, and it indeed was very meditative. So Much so that for a change, I did not even fight with my mom that day. So this is a little, of course, but I do want to show something that I was very fortunate to witness in one of your workshops, Paul. A student of yours or a student of Paul's drew her rendition of Ma Kali. And can you see how beautiful it is? I couldn't help but share it with the participants today. So please stay with us for a closing chant that Mrs. Cameron will lead, and have a wonderful day.
Thank you, everybody, for being here today. So just folding your hands in prayer position, thanking yourself, your being, for being here and working magic with your hands, and for the collective positive energy and connecting our hearts together. Om Shanti, Shanti, Shanti. Om. Thank you so much. Thank you, Paul. Thank you, everyone, for being here. We'll see you again next week.
Namaste.
Namaste.
Thank you. Namaste.
Bye-bye.